What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Bit of Footy YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at my tips for week 3, the preliminary final week of the 2023 AFL Final Series, and we're also going to be previewing every game. But first, we're going to have a look and see at how my tips did back in week 2. So let's do that first off. All right, so the first game for week 2, the semi-final week, was Melbourne playing Carlton at the MCG. I tipped Carlton to get the job done by a margin of 5 points. I did think it was going to be a close game, a close finish, and that it was. Carlton ended up getting the job done by a margin of 2 points. So I got the team correct in this tip. I just didn't get the margin correct, but you know, I did say it was going to be a close game, and it was in the end. The second game of the semi-final week, or week 2, was Port Adelaide taking on GWS. I tipped Port Adelaide to get the job done by a margin of 15 points. But it was actually GWS that got the job done, and they got the job done by a margin of 23 points. So I didn't get any of this tip correct at all. So without further ado, let's take a look and see what my tips are for week 3, the preliminary final week of the 2023 AFL Final Series. Alright, the first game of week 3 of the 2023 AFL Final Series, the first preliminary final, is between my Pies and the GWS Giants. Tomorrow night, Friday night at the MCG, I'll be there. I've got some pretty good seats as well, so it should be some good viewing. But yeah, having a look at the last 3 encounters between these two teams, Collingwood have won, or my Pies have won 2 games, and the Giants have won 1 game. The last encounter between these two clubs was when Collingwood beat the Giants by a margin of 65 points on Mother's Day as well. And the scoreline was Collingwood 18-12, 120 to GWS 7-13, 55. Having a look at the last 5 games for both clubs, Collingwood, we'll start off with my Pies first. My Pies have won 3 of their last 5 games. Their last game being that 7-point win over the D's in that qualifying final. Over to the Giants side, the Giants have won 4 of their last 5 games, with their last win obviously being that 23-point win over Port Adelaide in that semi-final. This is going to be a very interesting game, and I feel like it's going to be a very tight game. Obviously, it is a preliminary final, so I do think it's going to be a very tight game. It should be a very tightly contested game of footy as well. I'm very nervous for this game. I just don't know what's going to happen at all. I mean, the Giants are coming into this game off the back of some very good form. But, you know, my Pies, you know, they won the qualifying final against Melbourne, so they're going to take a lot of confidence from that win. And they, you know, obviously had the week off as well, so they're feeling fresh coming into this game. But yeah, I do feel like it's going to be a very close finish to this game. Both teams have been playing some very good footy, and you know, we're coming into this game with a lot of confidence as well. So yeah, it's going to make for a very interesting and I think a very close game of footy. For my tip, I have tipped my Pies to get the job done by a margin of 8 points only. I don't think it's going to be, you know, I don't think whoever wins this game is going to win it by a very big margin, so that's why I went my Pies by a margin of 8 points. I know the Giants do like to travel a lot, but I do feel like the week off is going to help my Pies a lot in this game. They're just going to have, they're just going to feel a lot more fresh than the Giants, and I just feel like that's going to help my Pies a lot to get the job done in this game. But you know, the Giants, they have been playing some very good footy. They are in some very good form at the moment, so you just never know. But obviously I'm going to be backing in my Pies to get the job done. I do have faith in my Pies to get the job done, so that's why I'm backing them in to get the job done in this game. I am going to be very nervous though on Friday night, tomorrow night. I just feel like anything could happen. But yeah, I've got faith in my Pies to get the job done. I feel like the week off is going to help us a lot. It's just going to, you know, obviously the week off will have us freshened up and ready to go for this game. So yeah, I'm backing in my Pies to get the job done in this game by a margin of 8 points. I'm nervous. I'm excited. It's going to be a good game. Both teams are coming into this game off the back of some very good form, so it should be a very interesting contest. But yeah, I'm backing in my Pies by a margin of 8 points. Come on, the Pies. The next game of week 3 of the 2023 AFL Final Series, the second preliminary final, is between Brisbane and Carlton at the Gabba on Saturday at 5:15. Bit of an odd time. I don't know why it's scheduled at that time, but it is. Having a look at the last 3 encounters between these two clubs, and it's all Brisbane. Brisbane have won the last 3 games between these two clubs. The last encounter between these two clubs obviously was a Brisbane win, and it was by a margin of 26 points, where the scoreline was Carlton 11-8-74 to Brisbane 15-10-100. So yeah, that was the last encounter between these two clubs. Having a look at the last 5 games of these two clubs, starting off with Brisbane. Brisbane have won their last 5 games. Their last win was obviously that qualifying final win against Port Adelaide, where they won 123 to Port Adelaide 75. Over on Carlton's side, Carlton have won 4 of their last 5 games. Obviously their last game was that win, that 2-point win over the D's in that semi-final. So both teams are coming into this game off the back of some very good form, sort of like the last game. And I do think, you know, it could go sort of either way in this game. For my tip, though, I am backing in Brisbane to get the job done by a margin of 13 points. I just do think it's going to be a little bit hard for Carlton to win. You know, this is their first interstate final in a long time, and it's at the Gabba of all places, you know, so it's going to be a very tough game for them. I can see Carlton, you know, maybe getting the job done. If Carlton can keep this game close, you know, you never know. If Carlton, can keep this game close, they could find a way to get the job done. So that's what I feel like they need to do. They need to keep the margin close at all times. If they can't, though, I do feel like Brisbane could sort of, you know, get away from them. But I've only tipped Brisbane by a margin of 13 points because I do think Carlton will be gallant in this game and, you know, keep it at a respectable scoreline for the majority of this game. But yeah, you never know. If Carlton, like I said, if Carlton can keep the margin close for the majority of the game, they could find a way to get the job done. But it is at the Gabba. You know, the Lions have built a fortress at the Gabba this season, obviously being their home ground this season. So yeah, I just find it hard. I just find it difficult seeing Carlton getting the job done in this game, considering how well Brisbane do play at their home ground of the Gabba. But, you know, you never know. Weird things have happened in finals previously. So Carlton, they're not out of this game. They just got to have a lot of self-belief that they can get the job done. But, you know, like I said, it is at the Gabba. The Lions have made the Gabba their fortress this year. Obviously, like I said before, being their home ground. So, yeah. I do hope that it is a close game. It is obviously a preliminary final. But yeah, I'm backing in Brisbane to get the job done in this game by a margin of 13 points, and for them to move on to the 2023 AFL Grand Final. But you know, you never know. You just never know. Carlton maybe could get the job done, but yeah, I'm backing in Brisbane by a margin of 13 points. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my tips for week 3 of the 2023 AFL Final Series, the preliminary final week of the 2023 AFL Final Series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and leave your tips in the comments below, compare them to mine, and yeah, have a good one, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this week of the 2023 AFL Final Series, and I'll catch you in another video very soon. Cheers.